ASPET President Dr. David Sibley is joining me now. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Talk to me a little bit about ASPET's role here at EB.
So ASPET was actually one of the founding societies of experimental biology. Back in the old days it was called the FASIB meeting, but ASPET is one of the founding societies of FASIB, so we were organizing the meeting from the very get-go. We have a very large presence at the meeting. We have 46 different symposia. We have about 7 named lectures, and we have close to 1,000 posters this year. It's one of the best poster turnouts we've ever had.
So clearly a lot for people to learn and gain some knowledge. But what do you think is the most important reason for pharmacologists to be here?
Well, I think there's actually 2 important reasons. The first one I would say is just learning about science and cutting edge science. People come to the meeting to not only present their science and the most recent stuff that they've done, but also hear from others about what they've learned and what they've discovered. And you can see a lot of unpublished science here, which is very helpful, so you really get in on the get-go for new discoveries. And then the second most important reason for being here is networking. The networking is very important, particularly for our younger members. And we have some specific networking events that are targeted toward our trainee population.
And that leads me into what are the takeaways, because clearly you can keep those contacts going throughout the year, but what are some other things that you hope people take away from the meeting then?
Well, again, I think people take away scientific information. They can go back to their lab and maybe do new things based on what they heard at the meeting. So again, it's a science-based takeaway. And then the networking takeaway is you can go back, and sometimes people start collaborations here and continue those after the meeting. And people who are networking for looking for career advancement can go back and also work their network, to try and advance their careers, either looking for graduate schools or more permanent positions.
You talked to me about the huge role ASPET is playing here and so much for people to really glean from it. Are there specific things you can discuss regarding programming?
Well, we have a lot of different interesting programming features. I'll mention one. We have an interesting symposium called Hear It From the Editors. So ASPET has a number of journals. We have 4 journals that we own ourselves, 1 journal that is co-owned with the British Pharmacology Society. And we have a symposium where people can come and hear from the editors what it takes to get your manuscript published in our journal. So how you submit a manuscript, tips for submission, how to deal with the review process and resubmission. So there's a lot of very useful information, and it's good for younger trainees to go to that session and hear how you can get your science published, because that's what everyone wants to do, of course.
Well, that's such valuable information, because the research, while it may be critical, if you can't get that out in a meaningful way, it's not as helpful as it could be.
Exactly. So that's an example of one special symposia we have. We also have a number of very cutting-edge symposia. There's a presidential symposia organized by myself this year, but we also have a number of symposia that are organized by our scientific award winners. So we have the Julius Axelrod Award. They organize the symposia, and the science is very cutting-edge. So we can offer a lot of very new cutting-edge research to our members that attend the meeting.
And then that sets the stage for them to go out and be inspired the rest of the year.
That's exactly right. We also provide information that other member societies can come and get involved with, and some of our members are dual members of other societies. For instance, I'm a member of ASPMB as well as ASPET.
All right, well, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Enjoyed being here.